Hello and welcome to the Daily Atheist Morning Show. It is Tuesday, the 17th of November, 2020. I'm your host, the amazing Super Chris. Welcome. Thank you for joining us at this ungodly hour. Today, my co-host is Andy Hall from the Laughing in Disbelief blog over at Pathos. He'll be joining me in just a minute. Nokasuchi tapped out this morning. He was up late picking on Christians. You know how he is. We don't mind though because he survived the cooties and he's, you know how it is. We let him do that because somebody got to do it. So he may not be here. He might be in the chat. You never know with him. We're going to do all that. We're going to talk about Christians and religion and nutbaggery and cooties and stuff. Right after this. Are you feeling the world is leaving you behind? Do you look at all the pseudoscience, rumors, and wild speculation on the internet and wonder, why can't I do that? Well, friend, you can. We can help you. We are Conspirowin. You may be thinking, but my idea of the center of the earth being made of ice is far-fetched. In a world where people believe windmills cause cancer, we say no dream is too big. Listen to the voices no one else can hear. Team up with Conspirowin. All right. Good morning, Andy. Looks like we're missing Nokasuchi this morning. Somebody put you there. Good morning, Andy. How you doing today?
So far, so good. The morning is still very morning-y. It is my girlfriend's birthday. I have a full day of activity planned for me, at least, to prepare for this evening's festivities. So I am happy to be here with my mind on my money and my money on my mind. Small amount of mind, small amount of money. That's what I've got going on this morning, Chris.
It's a balance. It's something. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try this. Here we go with the new fancy glasses that I can't see out of. Ooh, no, that's just, no. You're like, why does he wait until the show to do this? It's complicated.
It's a mystery. A lot of what happens here is a mystery. And if anyone knows anything about comedy, a lot of what I do is just yes and.
Yeah. Yes and.
And then there's the but occasionally.
Occasional buts. That's true.
But there's a lot of yes and. So if you want to roll with your glasses, then roll with your glasses, Chris. I'm not here to stop you from being the best Chris you can be.
I will be the best. Really, the best Chris I can be is without the glasses. I mean, if these aren't going to work, or if they're going to, I'll just go without the glasses, save the money, use my crappy little $35 readers, and use that $260 for advertising for the show or whatever for the show. Something else. So, before we get too far along, I want to say good morning to everybody who's watching us on all of our channels or on Facebook or Twitch, Twitter, or who's listening on the Daily Atheist Morning Show podcast. Thank you all for joining us this morning. Or we even stream to the TrumpFamilyTreason.com website. So check that out too. So good morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. Oh, we've got KCA Randy. Hey, Randy. Nice to have you this morning. Uri Bench, Derek Cruz, doing it without my glasses, man. Dave is here. All you wonderful people, thank you all for joining us. Good morning. We're going to talk about, we've got this, I don't know if you've heard, but Plaguey Hagee, Pastor Hagee from one of the mega churches caught the cooties. After, of course, probably denying the fact that the cooties were a thing. Caught the cooties, was in the hospital for several weeks, then came out of the hospital. And then gave most of the credit to Christ for him being healed. I was just curious. It would have been an interesting opportunity, and I'm just saying they missed an opportunity, completely missed an opportunity to go and demonstrate the power of their God by not taking him to the hospital and using only prayer. Their entire church could have prayed over this man and healed him, but they had to send him to the hospital. I'm just saying it's a very missed opportunity.
Well, I've always been a big fan of John Hagee, the senior pastor at Cornerstone Church in San Antonio, Texas. I'm just reading that from the article, by the way.
Oh man, you had me snowed. I thought you knew it right off the top of your head. I didn't know that.
But I have watched Pastor Hagee years ago because he's an old dude. He's an old dude. And what always impressed me about Hagee is that he had these large panoramic maps and visual visual helps, their visual poster. It's just like crazy stuff. Like, here's a timeline of the apocalypse, of the tribulation, and about the Wormswood meteor slam or whatever hitting into Mercury, doing this, and the whore from Babylon, being the first lady. What did I say that? I guess I did. So he's always been on my radar, John Hagee.
Yeah.
And it made my heart that's a little two sizes too small beat a little happier knowing that he too got the COVID. Would you like me to read from the Friendly Atheist article, Chris?
Would you?
I find this to be a pleasure.
Me too. It's one of the highlights of the show, I think.
The name of the article is Pastor Hospitalized for COVID. Quote, we have a vaccine. And I'm going to try to do it with my best jowly voice here because this is a quote from Hagee. All right, so jowl's working. We have a vaccine.
Do this, it helps.
We have a vaccine. The name is Jesus Christ. So that's right, folks. That's the name of the article. Pastor Hospitalized for COVID. Quote, we have a vaccine. The name is Jesus Christ. Okay, let's get into this. Just over a month ago, we learned that John Hagee, the senior pastor of Cornerstone Church in San Antonio, Texas, tested positive for COVID. His son, Matthew, made an announcement at the time. Matthew did say his father was getting, quote, extremely good medical treatment. He's lucky he can afford it. That's not necessarily true of the congregation he's putting in danger by hosting in-person, indoor, mask-optional, not very socially distanced services. Yesterday, the elder Hagee was back in church. He said he spent 15 days in the hospital with, quote, double pneumonia, but he was better now. But you can see from the video below that the church hasn't made any adjustments for COVID. It's still in-person, indoor, jam-packed, and mask optional.
Ugh.
So what did Hagee have to say about COVID after his own fight with the disease? As you'd expect, he didn't tell anyone to take it seriously. Instead, he told people to trust magic pixie powder. No, he didn't say trust magic pixie powder. He said, just trust Jesus. And here's a quote from this video that you can see on the
But you may as well have said, trust your toaster.
You can trust your toaster. You trust, it'll make lovely toast if you're lucky. Toaster, I have to set my toaster to be really far over to get my English muffin in the morning done properly. But I digress. Let me talk about John Hagee and what he said.
Okay.
I'm sitting in this chair today as a testimonial to the healing power of Jesus Christ. I think when I get jolly, it starts sounding like Richard Nixon too. I spent 15 days in a hospital with double pneumonia, and I'm still supposed to be at home gasping for air. I'm on this platform speaking of the glory of God for the healing power of God. I bring her, I'm sorry. I bring under the authority of Jesus Christ every sickness and every disease, and especially the COVID thing that's sweeping this nation. We have a vaccine. The name is Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. Let him sweep through this country and heal the righteous who dare to ask for it. Heal our church members, restore them rapidly. Let the name of Jesus Christ be exalted because he is Lord over all. And I was looking at the video of Hagee. It's like, I don't even know if this guy is healthy enough to stand. He looked under normal situations. He does not seem to be a very healthy fellow. He is elderly. He is not a lithe man. He is not a picture of health. He is exactly what you would think. Yeah.
I'm sorry. He said 15 days. 15 days he spent in the hospital 15. With double pneumonia. So, to me, and I could be wrong, I'll need to ask the nurse wife, but to me, that sounds like he may have been intubated.
No, he might have been 15 days.
He may have been really pretty well. Yeah, but the way he describes double pneumonia, yeah, it just makes it sound to me as though he was probably intubated. It was really bad, and as you said, but thankfully he got the vaccine he needed. What was the name of that vaccine again, Andy? If you don't mind,
Jesus.
Jesus. Gee, I wonder how was it intravenous Jesus or was it rectal suppository Jesus?
It was you went there. I was about to go there.
I beat you.
Oh yeah, very well done, sir. Very well done. Well, you know what I find disturbing about this, if I was an evangelical, why didn't he have triple pneumonia? Why didn't he have pneumonia for the Father, the Son, and the Holy
Spirit? Oh,
and I don't know why he didn't get triple pneummonia. If I was an evangelical, I'd be upset.
I mean, it's like, again, another missed opportunity.
Yeah, well,
on their part, really, this is crazy that he would go through that, tell those people that. I just mean, man, this is. Well, that was the opportunity for him to, instead of going to the doctor at all, he should have just gone down, put a 24-hour live cam on him, and just showed the power of Jesus healing him and taking him. And that's what. Oh man, they missed that. Such one.
I would watch that live stream at least for.
I would too.
I would watch that live stream. Pastor.
Wait. Do you think when Jesus healed him, there would be like a glowing we could see on TV or on the stream, or would it just be all internal? We wouldn't be able to see. He'd just magically get up, start dancing or something.
That's a very good question. I'm not
glowy Jesus or not glowy Jesus.
I'm not a.
Would we see Jesus do it
on COVID-19?
There would be like a piece of toast levitates into the room and Jesus is on the toast and he heals Pastor Hagee, and there's glowy things on Pastor Hagee's body like the Cocoon movie from back in the 1860s, and it's healed and it's magical. That would be wonderful. I would be a follower of Toast Jesus, of glowy Toast Jesus.
There would be some people who say that we shouldn't celebrate the fact that Pastor Hagee got the COVID-19. I myself am not one of those people.
Who are those people?
nice liberal people.
None of them are here. Better than me people, I guess. Is what you're trying to say.
Hagee is just this person ripe to be made fun of just because of the fact that he is a shepherd who is leading his flock to financial ruin and apparently health ruin too. Physical ruin, fiscal ruin, all types of ruin. And if that man, if there is any justice in the world, he would be the one who would get triple pneumonia.
Well, we realize surely that all of his flock will get equal quality care that he got.
Oh, of course.
Right? We know that, right? Clearly. So for those of you who are just catching up, we're talking about Pastor Hagee, who got cooties, who downplayed cooties and got cooties and spent 15 days in the hospital for cooties with double pneumonia. I like this, double pneumonia. It's like rabbit ears, but double pneumonia. And then he comes out and says he got the vaccine, and the vaccine for it was Jesus, and that's what healed him or is healing him. And that's what we're talking now. Again, they've done no masking up in his church. They're not doing social distancing.
Well, it's
they didn't before. Well, it's always optional, I guess. Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
Wow.
I don't know where that came from, but it's but with these people, you think they'd do something. Their leader has just come down with the cooties and survived through Jesus.
If he was in the hospital for 15 days, I know that means. So Phil Lister says that. Cleaning up my Trinitarian triple pneumonia joke here. Phil Lister says in the chat, it just means both lungs are affected. Yes, that's what. Yes, completely spot on.
But if you count the lungs of this Holy Spirit,
well, they're spiritual,
which is always with you.
Because just as you have the armor
lungs
of God, you have the lung of the Holy Spirit there, breathing in the Spirit,
breathing in.
Spirit. So Trinitarian pneumonia, that's what it is. And so this Hagee guy, like I said, if anyone warrants being made fun of for getting COVID-19, it would be many people in the Trump administration, as well as John Hagee, the president, who still has church services with people being jammed in there with masks being optional. Madness wrapped with a bow of Jesus. That's what it is.
So the masks are optional, but they are not social distancing.
Well, that's what the article says, at least, and I'm not surprised. You see a lot of these super spreader events to be faith-based. I remember hearing about one of them, that just a bunch of people singing in a choir.
Yeah, that was one of the first ones, wasn't it? Back in like April.
And it's like, I don't think, well, maybe you should just be recording separately or doing recorded music. The idea that you're singing close together in a pandemic, maybe, just possibly, is not the best public health idea concept out there.
I just want to point this out. Lisa for Truth, thank you for joining us this morning. Thank you for all the wonderful people who are joining us. I'm trying to keep up. I kind of see. Lisa says, but Hagee is now immune through Jeebus. Well, he's immune.
For 3 months.
And see, that's the thing. That's how I want him to walk around going, I'm immune. I'm immune. I'm immune. And in month number 4, we're going to get an extra dose of Schadenfreude. I'm hoping.
Well, just because he's out of, and we've talked about this a bunch of times, especially since, our buddy, The Rage, who isn't with us this morning, had COVID-19, that a lot of people get sick after they get out of the hospital. Just because he's out and he's fine right now doesn't mean he's going to be fine in a couple of days. It doesn't mean that he doesn't have, organ damage in his lungs, heart, or brain damage.
Or he's got some brain damage, almost certainly. That's his
that's
default
a pre-existing
position,
condition for John Hagee.
Yeah.
But having a moral deficiency isn't really brain damage, though it could be argued either way. At the very least, his pre-existing condition, he has a moral deficiency.
True enough.
So, who knows how, so what's going to happen? Let's say John Hagee drops dead tomorrow from a blood clot, let's say, that he got from COVID-19. Is that God's plan? Was that an example of Jesus working God's plan in the world?
Dear baby Jesus.
Does that mean
Pastor Hagee lives right over there?
Does that mean the Jesus vaccine is deficient in some way? That if Hagee drops dead tomorrow from a blood clot from COVID-19, I am guessing that his flock would still praise Jesus, and things would be fine. That they would just, he wouldn't lose any, or the church wouldn't lose any members if Hagee dropped dead tomorrow from COVID-related issues. And that's the power of faith.
Yeah. Well, there was you were the one who posted the deal about the nurse, right? The nurse. Let me do this here. The nurse who's talking about these people. They've caught the cooties. They're right wing. I'm going to say it. Nutbags. They're right-wing nutbags. They've caught the cooties. They're on their freaking deathbed going, the cooties aren't real. This isn't real.
Yeah.
It hurts right here. Right here. This is why aliens drive by our planet and lock the doors. This is the reason. Tell them, Andy. Get them.
I like that analogy. Well, I made this 1-minute video yesterday, and it's done exceptionally well on my channel. It's gotten over 1,400 views, and a couple of Trumpers are on it too. You'll laugh at some of the comments, but it's a CNN interview of a nurse from South Dakota, and she is just reporting her experiences of seeing COVID-19 deniers dying, in the midst of dying, and refusing to admit it's COVID-19. They want to believe it's the flu. They want to
or double pneumonia.
They want to think about anything that it's COVID, and they're gasping for their last breath saying this isn't COVID because COVID isn't real. It is actually, so I did this snippet from this woman's interview on CNN. You can see there's a link in the description to this 1-minute video where you can see the whole interview and read the article. But it is just really a testimony to people's power of denial, and how to their dying day, they will not admit that COVID-19 is killing them. It is incredible, man. It is just incredible and sobering.
Yeah. Shameful. And a testament to the lack of the attack on our educational system by the conservatives over the past 30 or 40 years. I mean,
well, this
amongst
is,
other things, it's just, it's shameful. Shameful.
It shows you the danger of this middle of the road thinking that a lot of people have. It's like, well, if the Christians want to teach, both sides of the controversy of evolution, or if they want to teach both sides of the controversy of climate science, for an example, then, we should allow them to do that in the public schools. And that's absurd. That's absurd. It is absurd, and it's criminal in a sense, when you consider the fact that we're just teeing up a generation of people who just don't understand science or how things work in the world. And I have to tell you, when I was a Christian, I definitely did not understand how the world worked. I had magical thinking about Jesus and about God and about demons and devils. And it definitely had a negative impact on my life. And you have like millions of people under that spell of magical thinking that evangelicals love to promote. The vaccine of Jesus, for Christ's sakes, there's a pun there, and I'm gonna defend,
I mean, this notion as a great example. Thank you, Trina DeLuca. I'm glad you like my GIF. I really enjoy making the GIFs. I'm pointing at something over there. The GIF. I really enjoy making those. It's this man gets the cooties and then goes back to church and doesn't. I mean, they spread this stuff. It is a war on science. And now there's just not enough evidence. I wish there was some way that you could prosecute these people for the people that they kill through their negligence. You just can't really do it. There's too many. There's just too many. You could never possibly prosecute Donald Trump, for example, for all the people who have died because you just couldn't find them all. You just couldn't. There's just so many that died directly or indirectly because of his actions. You couldn't do it. Same thing with this guy. How many people in his church, older people, have caught the cooties, listening to this man, didn't get the benefits that he got, and may or may not, and may have passed away? We don't know really. But now Texas is like 1 million cases. I mean, the numbers in Texas are just mind-blowing. And to have this preacher come out and do this is shameful. It should be prosecutable. There's a better word for that. But you know what I mean?
Yes, there should be a legal process that you take idiots who are promoting the pandemic, because that's what they are. These preacher men and women, they are promoting the epidemic. They are super spreaders themselves by proxy, Chris. They are super spreaders by proxy, in the sense that they are getting their flocks and their followers to go out there and just spread the disease. And of course, they were also super spreaders themselves, because they're just going out there because a lot of them are delusional and thinking that there's a vaccine called Jesus out there that's going to save them.
That's going to somehow save them. That's right. Again, it just boggles my mind that I can come out and go, I just got the best medical care men could provide. Thank you, Jesus. I want to just bring up the Sam Harris concept, because I've heard him talk about this. Hook us up with that.
About this pernicious concept about the afterlife, right? So even if they suffer horribly in this life due to their own stupidity, and they kill people, secondhand stupidity. That's why I called it my blog post this morning. So there's a lot of people dying from secondhand stupidity. So not only are these people stupid in the fact that they don't accept the science and putting on a mask, but people are dying from their secondhand stupidity. And the reasoning is with these evangelicals is this concept of it'll all work out in the wash. It'll all work out in the end, right? The idea that even if I die or Nana dies, we're going to live in magic candy mountain land afterwards with Jesus. And so it'll be okay. And Sam Harris talks about this toxic idea of an afterlife and how it distorts our views of the world that we are living in right here and right now. And what this idea of an afterlife does, it incentivizes this kind of death cultish behavior and attitude. Just like, well, this life isn't that important. So what if climate change is real and millions of people die? Yeah, so what? It's all part of the plan. And the holy will go, into heaven in the end, and they'll still be okay, even though people suffer. It is toxic and it is insane.
Very.
And that's why, when my fellow atheists say that, well, people having these moderate views on religion, it doesn't hurt anyone. It's like, does it not hurt anybody? This idea of this magical afterlife. Maybe just having the idea itself tees you up for doing stupid and toxic things to yourself and your community in the long run.
It would seem that way. Let me pop this. I can't pop the comment up on the screen, but I'm going to read it for you. It's from Facebook, from Brenda Barrett. Our school board and administration is making first graders come back to school today. They threatened to terminate any teacher who doesn't work in person today. The cases are higher now than when we shut down in March. When we will see what happens. A lot of parents have stated that they are supporting the teachers and keeping their kids home. This is crazy.
What state?
Especially if it's, I don't really know. She'll tell us. Miss Brenda, let us know if you don't mind what state you're in. I currently am in the state of disgust and shock. The state of shock. Yes.
I see what you did there.
Yes.
The reason why I don't have a job right now, and the reason why I quit my job, is because my superiors were putting the people who I work for, people who have immune issues to begin with, they were going to put them into a day program, and that would just not endanger those people who have disabilities, but it would imperil the staff people. And it's like, no, I can't be part of any of this. No, thank you. And luckily, I can make this work until the vaccine happens. But there are a lot of people who are not in the same situation as I am, and my heart goes out to them, because now they have to figure out how to survive, how to pay the mortgage, how to pay the rent, how to feed their kids. While, because it isn't just the idea that they get COVID and they could die, but they could bring it home. And what if they have their parents living with them? So they have like a multi-generational house, which, a lot of poor people live in. A lot of, middle class and poor people live in, because, middle class people are basically poor people now here in the States, comparatively speaking. So you can have a multi-generational household, and you have an elementary teacher going in there or a high school teacher going in and bringing the illness back. Their nan gets it, their dad gets it, their kids, kids still die from COVID. So the kids can be infected with it. It is a chain of insanity. That's what it is.
It really is. We got an answer from Miss Brenda. She lives in Washington. So shame whatever's going on there.
She's in Washington State. Well, they just declared. Well, it's interesting about Washington State, because I was reading this article about that they're doing a shutdown in Washington State, but the schools are still open. So I'm trying to wrap my mind around this. They're doing a shutdown, but they're keeping the schools open.
Yeah,
come on.
It's like the meme going around about doing something like that is like having a peeing section in a swimming pool.
Right, and that's what it is. And that's what it is. It is like having a peeing section. Well, you remember, you're old enough. You're old enough, dude, to remember smoking sections in restaurants, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, smoking sections. The first airplane flight I ever took was a smoking airplane flight.
Oh yeah. Well, I took an international flight over to London back in the day. This must have been like 1987, and people were lighting up. It's like. Yeah. The idea of a smoking section, the idea of a peeing section in a pool, the idea about having schools open in the midst of a pandemic where everything else is shut down. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's just absurd. Maybe it is.
I think so. Lisa for Truth says, can't we just inaugurate Biden now? See, technically, nay. But, here's my thinking, and I'm just going to briefly touch on this, because this is more about religion than it is about Biden and all that. But, yeah, as we're getting with the cooties and all that. But with Biden, Trump and them have just trashed and shat upon the Constitution and the rules the entire time at every opportunity. I think we should set aside some of those rules and get them out as soon as possible, because just get them out. because they're going to do as much damage as they can between now and the inauguration until Trump is out of power. He's going to do everything he can to hurt our nation, and we should not wait. Right now, people are dying. We've been predicting this. Me and Andy have been talking about this for months, that they wanted the virus to be running rampant through our country to stop people from voting. We've known this. And here it is. Here they've got it. They lost the election, and we've got hundreds of thousands of people dead for their greed and their desire for power. So
there is an incentive for religious organizations, especially evangelical organizations, to make the rest of us so miserable that we turn to religion. Because there is and even if it's not a conscious thought, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but there is an implicit incentive for religious leaders, evangelical leaders, to make society as sick as possible so that more people turn to God, because it is clear the more miserable a society is, the more religious they are, by and large.
Right. To answer that, Miss Lisa, though, I actually made an entire short video on YouTube about that we should get Trump out now. I'll post a link right there in the thing. I'll post a link over here in this other thing, so maybe everybody can get it. But yeah, I did a whole short video about we need to get him out now, and this is why. So I don't want to get all into the Trump. I just wanted to answer those things, and now we've answered them, and now we move on. I want to address something else, though. Is the wife mentioned that she was like, "Why were you so mad yesterday?" I'm like, "Mad, Crystal, mad," and she's like, "Yeah, you know." And I was like,
"Yeah, you were popping off for the first 10 minutes, dude. I just kicked back, and just like, well, Chris is going to pop off, and this is just, you know."
Oh well, it was a serious show. No doubt, it was a serious show. But I got something else going on too. I said, now I'm not wearing my glasses, so I'm trying to run the show without my glasses. So anytime, and somebody brought it home when somebody mentioned it in the chat. Anytime I'm not talking, I'm like looking, and I might be squinting, and I've got this resting bitch face anyway. And so if I'm not, I was fine. Yes, I was doing all my stuff, but go back and watch it. I look like somebody said in the chat that me squinting at all the screens, I don't know. I can't see it. I lost it.
Well, you might have resting bitch face, but I have resting, I think you're full of shit face, to tell you the truth. That's typically my skeptical, playful, but thinking that the other person's just full of poo. Kevin Lentini in my chat's going, "You're all making me feel so young." Yes, Kevin, that's what we do here. I can regale you with stories of me waking up in the morning and getting the milk from the back porch from the milkman. Yes, old enough to remember the milkman bringing the dairy products in.
You're a geezer. I mean, I should be more respectful to my elders.
Very good. Like 2 years.
Yeah. So, again, back to our Pastor Hagee. Maybe 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be getting, this is just a sign of what's going to happen, right? I'm going to prophesy right now. I'm going to do a secular prophecy right now. Preach. That when the vaccine does occur, from who knows, Moderna or Pfizer, it's just going to be all these religious folks just praising Jesus and talking about the anointing of God, and asking people for more money, because after all, they were responsible for this vaccine because they prayed so hard for it. And that's what's going to happen in 4 months or so, 5 months, when the vaccine's out and everyone's getting their shots, or most people are getting their shots.
Do we have any idea how long the vaccine protects an individual? I haven't heard yet.
There's going to be 2 shots, apparently, from what I understand, at least about the Pfizer, and that's what they were talking, the initial shot and then the Pfizer and then the booster. I'm not sure. I know the Moderna one, I believe, is 94.5% effective, while the Pfizer one
is for how long?
Effective. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Oh, see, yeah, I got you.
I'm not sure.
Well, I have the Googles. I will Googles that.
Okay.
I can see it, but that's just because that's one of the things. Every year we have to go get a flu shot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I got my flu shot this year, and which I typically do every year because I don't want to, of all the stupid ways of dying, I don't want to be the person and I know I'm going to die in an idiotic way. It'll be did I ever tell you the time how I almost died from a no, you've heard all this. You've heard a couple of my stories about how I've almost, died from let's see, asking when I got held up, how I asked the guy for the gun story. I'm pretty sure I told you that.
No, I haven't heard that.
Oh, yeah. So there's been a myriad of ways of how I've almost gotten myself killed. Stupid ways. I used to do this bit for a stand-up. It's a good 8 or 10 minute bit. I'm not going to bore you, but yes, I got held up, and I asked the guy for the gun because I'm not a little wussy, and I'm not going to give anyone any money if they don't show me a firearm. That's the high and low of it. I almost slit my neck by mistake on a door at getting a soda at a supermarket. My kid is right there, right? So and this store is a corner, right? So it's a little it's a little refrigerator. Right, and inside is like shelves of soda, and my soda was at the very bottom of the shelf. And the thing is, the corner of the door is really sharp. For some reason, from some deficiency, it is a sharp kind of corner to this door, to this refrigerator in the grocery store. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm really cool, right, Chris? So what I do is that I pop it open with my leg. I kneel down. Now, I'm not propping the door open. I'm thinking I have this all in one fell swoop. I'm grabbing the soda. My neck is down close to the floor, and I feel the cutting edge, the sharp edge going right over my neck. And I'm thinking to myself, holy crap, this is how I die. I'm going to bleed out at the Stop and Shop with my kid laughing at me, because my kid's laughing at me at this point. My kid is like laughing. It's like, she goes, "You're going to die, bro." It's like, this is how it's going to end. And I'm holding my neck basically because I don't know if I'm bleeding or not. So I fully realize I'm going to die in some silly way. At some point, my stupidity is going to catch up with me. However, what I don't want to do is die in some pedestrian, stupid way, like catching the flu because I didn't get my flu shot. I want to die in some spectacularly stupid way, not in some garden variety way from my own stupidity. That's why I get my flu shot every year.
There you go. Well, I used to never get a flu shot so simply because I was a child in a grown-up's body.
Right. Well, you seem like a healthy person. You seem to be a physically healthy person, not mentally, maybe most healthy, right?
Yeah, there's stages. yeah, physically. Yeah, so that was kind of the whole deal of it. For the most part, during my youth, I didn't do none of that. Now, I mean, the wife makes sure I get all my shots and my tags so she can take me to the park. And
that's good. Well, your wife should be given an award for keeping you in check, Chris.
I tell you, yeah. Yes, absolutely, she should. Yesterday on the show, I accidentally, they're all gone. She ate the rest of them. We ate the rest of them. I ate some of her little pumpkin snackies on the show.
I saw that.
You did see that? Everybody saw that.
You might have been blacked out at that point from whatever.
From all the sugar.
I don't know. Yeah, from the sugar. We'll call it the sugar, sure. Yeah, but you were noshing on a few of the pumpkin snacks, sure.
So I had my phone on silent. I did not hear the wife's message when she said, "Are you seriously sitting there eating my pumpkin treats on a live stream right in front of me? Heads will roll."
Nice.
I think she meant my heads.
Yeah.
Yes. But I did explain that I was trying to protect those pumpkin things from the ice cream ninjas. I could hear them on the ceiling. The ice cream ninjas were coming to steal her. And it was just, I sacrificed. So in case you guys were wondering what happened yesterday, that happened.
So Ronan in your chat saying, "I ride a bicycle daily. I see numerous homes with pray lawn signs." Fascinating. Pray. I think I should set up a line of lawn signs.
PREY?
PR. Let's see what you did there. I think
Wile E. Coyote, brother. Coming at you, baby. Coming at you.
I think my lawn signs would be aspire to be less wrong. I think that would be. I have a T-shirt in my store about that. About aspire to be less wrong. That would be my lawn signs. Not as punchy as pray. Certainly not as stupid. But yeah, what I'm not doing, Ronan, is praying for you. You're in my thoughts for having to live in an area that there are numerous signs for the word pray on it.
Yeah. Moving backwards. I'm just saying, moving backwards.
Yeah.
Well, we've had all this thing with all the political signs and all, I mean, the ones I enjoy are the ones that, hi, my name is Chris. I'm not running for anything. I just wanted to put a sign up. Or, here's a sign with somebody's doggo running for office. Please vote for doggo. Those are my favorites, especially doggo signs.
I liked hearing about the lawn sign wars that were being waged. It was if the Civil War was going to erupt during the election, it was going to be because someone is stepping on someone else's lawn, taking their sign, or talking smack about it. That's when shots would have been fired for sure, and militias engaged about people ripping off each other's signs. But thankfully, we seem to be beyond that part. We seem to be beyond the danger window. Kevin saying any functioning adult 2020 was my favorite. Yeah, I like that. Any functioning adult.
Yes, true. Well, now we've got this thing. So even without the politics, it's become a religious thing. This COVID, it's against their religion, and I think maybe what we're gonna do is we're gonna have is your God not strong enough to hear your prayers through a mask? Is that what you're telling me? Your God can't hear your prayers through a mask? Come on. Is that how weak he is? I mean, we may even have an entire show about that for fun.
Well, I think if you squint your eyes really hard.
I'm doing that, squinting.
I think that'll help get the prayers out over the mask or through the mask.
Oh, and you have to push with your gut.
You're going to give yourself a hernia.
Just don't shat yourself in your pew. That's all I'm saying. It'd be pew.
Remember Sammy Jenkins just wants to shame us for being Americans. Where he is, it's like flu shots are free for the elderly, vulnerable, and pregnant, and subsidized for everyone else.
Hey, listen, flu shots are free here for the vulnerable, elderly, pregnant. We don't have a lot of elderly pregnant people here, though, but they're free really for everybody. I can go down, I guess, to Walgreens and they just give me a shot and I don't have to pay for it. So maybe that may be insurance related. I may be speaking from ignorance.
Well,
I don't know.
I will say that I don't live in the People's Republic of Cambridge. That's what the city of Cambridge is commonly referred to here in Massachusetts. But I live in a city abutting, and there seems to be a healthy rivalry between the city that I live in, Somerville, and Cambridge about who can be the most civilized, who can be the most leftist municipality. So when they didn't even realize, most out of the 4 times I've gotten a COVID-19 test, I'd say a majority of the times they didn't even ask me for my insurance card. They just take, come over, do the swab. I guess this is the international sign for swab, amongst other things, and in and out, just like that. Didn't even care about insurance.
I have yet to be tested. I was going to be tested once, but I feel fine. So.
You feel fine. So you can just be a carrier, Chris. I understand what you're saying.
Yes, yeah. So I mean, since I felt fine, I just went on. No, I never go anywhere. We self-quarantined and all that. Yeah. So, but the wife gets tested quite regularly, as you might imagine, with her work. So she's tested.
Yeah, she is. Once again, all the people who are out there working. See, no, there are people who have to go to work. Right. There are people who are the nurses, the doctors, the health professionals. And then there are people that, quote unquote, have to work, that don't really need to work and deal with the public as much as they are. And they're like these school teachers. My kid's doing everything distance learning. Is it perfect? Absolutely not. But I hate to say this, but in school learning, from what I recall of my own experiences and from what I hear from my kid, in school learning also is not perfect. So the idea that how many dead teachers do you need? How many dead custodians do you need before you say, wow, maybe the idea about doing in-person teaching, in-person classes, maybe this isn't the hill that we need to die on. Maybe
that's
it
true.
isn't.
Maybe not. I don't know. But you do realize though, Andy, that if any of those teachers or custodians manage to get the cooties, they will get a personal helicopter flight to Walter Reed Hospital, and the best doctors in the entire country will personally take care of them for free. For free.
Of course. Of course.
You know that, right? So that's why it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Because they'll get the best of the best.
Well,
sarcasm. That's sarcasm, people. For those of you who are watching.
Is that sarcasm?
Yes. Well, I'm not for you. I know you're an expert, and you know it when you see it. There are other people out there. I'm just making sure they knew.
That's
New
good.
Viewers. Yeah.
Right.
Are you reading the chat? I can tell when because your lips start.
I am reading the chat. Yeah. Well, I'm either reading the chat. Well, okay. So here are the different stages of Andy. Andy, this is Andy writing down a joke about triple pneumonia while you're talking. Because I'm thinking, that's a stupid joke. Maybe I can
that's a whole video right there.
That's and then there's the reading the chat, seeing what people are talking about, and then there's I was actually just checking out the Friendly Atheist site too. So I do multiple things here. Usually when there's three of us, you don't actually notice what I'm doing until I start yelling at someone in the chat or until I say a joke. So usually I go secret squirrel, and you don't notice all of my all the dark things I do when I'm not speaking.
That's true. Well, we notice it now. I should put you on the big screen.
Put me on the big screen, not the big screen.
So we've got a few more minutes that we can cover on this thing. I anticipate we will continue to see these preachers do. I mean, they haven't stopped. They haven't slowed down. It doesn't matter. It doesn't seem to matter.
You know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the Thanksgiving services, because Thanksgiving's coming
for
up
the people we've lost. You mean?
No, just celebrating this bounty that Jesus is giving us, that God's plan is giving us. It's supposed to be about celebration. It's supposed to be definitely, at least for us, evangelical. At least for evangelicals, it's about celebrating.
That's right. And will there be more food to celebrate with because of the people who died? That cousin or aunt, she gone. She ain't bringing no more of that crappy nut bread or whatever she used to bring. She gone. So Jesus did that. Are you
saying there's going to be a dearth of a scarcity of fruitcake, Chris? Is that what you're saying? As
the older generation passes, fruitcake should go away. We should never see fruitcake again. Yeah. Ever. You know those dreams where you're running and you're trying to get away from something and you can't move your feet? That's always fruitcake. You're always running in fruitcake. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with cooties or preachers.
So there'll be all of these church services celebrating Jesus and
the vaccine,
Thanksgiving, and those will just be. We're just going to see all of these super spreader events after Thanksgiving, and then guess what? There'll be another flurry of them. There's a winter thing, snowflake quote, joke in there somewhere around Christmas time too, when people are there's going to be another culling, another spreading. And once again, it isn't just the stupid, and it is tragic, the fact that stupid people don't understand, or people who've been brainwashed by this religious industrial complex in this country are dying unnecessarily from COVID-19. But it is the secondhand stupidity deaths that bother me and irritate me and agitate me the most. These people who are trying to do everything right, is these people who just refuse to wear a mask, or they refuse to social distance, or they refuse to be prudent in their behavior.
Absolutely. Just gets me so much. And then that they don't seem to care, and then there's the ones that have died, the pastors who were against, oh no, cooties ain't real. Don't wear cooties in masks in here. And then they get the cooties and then they die. How often has that happened? That the Schadenfreude in me says not often enough, but there needs to be a lesson there. that these people need to take away from that, but they don't. It's why does a virus seem to be a challenge to their God? That we don't. Why did that even start? Politicians.
Well, there is, Rob Emanuel said, we don't let any tragedy. Every tragedy is an opportunity. I'm paraphrasing, of course. And so, once again, the priestly class have always, and I hate to say the word always, but mostly always have taken advantage of horrible situations. Whether you're in ancient Israel and the Babylonians are not Persians, Babylonians are Egyptians are knocking at your door. Well, guess what? It's a time for God. Things are bad. It's a time for God. Why? Because people really don't pay attention to God when things are good. When things are good, they're realizing that maybe the death cult isn't really necessary. But when things go south, when things go sideways, people do turn to their fictitious divine friend, their imaginary friend.
There have been a couple of, in our history of the United States, there have been a couple of really huge religious waves that overtook the country, and both of them were right after, one was after the Civil War, and one was during and after the Second World War. We had this religious waves of people moving on because of all the death and all the, what do you do with, how do you address death? Well, the religious people come in, and this is what I'm going to say. This is going to seem ugly. And it's probably meant to be. But whenever you've got religious people combing battlefields looking for people to save, that's very vulturish. That's very, when you're preying on those people like that,
hear me out on
tough,
this.
Tough call.
I'm going to throw this out there. I am assuming, I am guessing, the LDS, the Mormons have this ritual baptizing the dead.
Oh man.
Right?
Yeah,
so
thank you for bringing that up.
I can just imagine how busy they are in the time of pandemics of just baptizing, people left and right. There must be like a factory somewhere of baptizing dead COVID patients. See, now that's could be really spun in a funny satirical post on my blog. But that's a little dark even for me.
You're just full of blog candy today.
I am just full of blog candy.
Just like I just wrapped you upside the head and you're just spewing blog candy.
I am just a machine of dark comedy. That's what I am, Chris.
All right, man. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, man. It's been a good show. I want to thank you for doing the thing with me this morning. What do you got going on? You got anything going on today, OGs?
I'm trying to make another viral minute video, which I seem to be thinking a lot about these days. I'm also trying to cobble together Atheist Drinking Out Loud on Saturday, since that's a monthly thing on my channel, and trying to cobble that together. My girlfriend's birthday. Happy birthday, girlfriend, once again. These are the things that take up my mind. Trying to write viral posts on my blog, laughing in disbelief. Trying to write viral videos on my YouTube channel, laughing in disbelief. And just trying to be an awesome person, Chris.
Well, you're doing it. You're doing it.
I'm trying to do this. Just being an awesome person.
Well,
what do you have going on? What are you doing?
I'm trying to develop another show. It'll be, of course, I'm doing the shorts like Andy. Took Andy's advice. If you're a content creator out there, you ought to look into doing the shorts.
Don't tell people.
It really helps the metric. Everybody knows. All the smart folks know. But I'm going to start doing these short videos that are 6 to 10 minutes long that are just going to be quick. I'm taking John Funk's advice and doing, I want to say David Pakman style videos. I'm going to start doing those. I may put them on, I'm probably going to put them on my other channel though. I'm not sure. I've been very torn on the whole channel thing. I'm going to seek the advice of people who know more about multiple channels than I. But I'm thinking about that. I'm not sure what format it's going to be, but I'm going to be developing that over today and tomorrow. And
that sounds like fun. It sounds like work. It sounds like mental work.
Yeah.
With your brain.
I know. I tell you, I need to find somebody to run the social media advertising and the analytics and all that to let me focus on creating content. Because I'm just getting, what'd you call it earlier? Bogged down? No, there was a
cognitive load. The
cognitive load.
You can only do mentally so many different things in the course of a day.
Yes.
Creatively and do it well.
Yeah. I've got, my cognitive is loaded.
Your cognitive is low today?
Yes.
So, hey, I wrote this post earlier today. I put the link on earlier in the chats. It's about a satirical blog. It's a satirical piece on my blog, Laughing in Disbelief, about it's now religious freedom to eat indoors at a Waffle House. So,
thanks to Trump.
Of course, it's an executive order, my friend.
I'll post a link real quick, and then I'll run our closing commercial that people can watch.
Closing commercial.
And then I'll post a link after that. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you to everybody in the damn nation for joining us. All you wonderful people on all the channels and Facebook and live streams and stuff. You are all wonderful. Thank you for joining us. We will see you tomorrow. We might do wiggle butts. Do you have a dog or cat or anything? Do you have an animal?
I got a story about that, but no, we do not currently have any animals. We just moved just during the pandemic, and we were thinking about getting animals, but then it turns out that the line to get a vet during the pandemic is very, very long. And, we're in a relatively new city. And, we're going to wait until after the pandemic is over to get ourselves animals.
Well, one of the things I'm going to start doing for the shows, I'm going to start donating a percentage of the super chats that I get to a local pet rescue, animal rescue. I'm going to start doing that and trying to sponsor them, whether they like it or not. I'm not going to, you know what I mean? I'm not going to try to get advertised. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to send money to them and support them through our show. And I thought maybe having a wiggle butt thing, because all dogs go to heaven. I don't care what you believe.
Well, it's an interesting question about where to send your money in terms of charities. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
There's a bunch of really
I like dogs more than people.
Well, there's a lot of good secular charities out there too.
That's true too. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do the thing. You guys are wonderful. I will see you tomorrow. Enjoy our little commercial. Have a good day. Are you feeling the world is leaving you behind? Do you look at all the pseudoscience, rumors, and wild speculation on the internet and wonder, why can't I do that? Well, friend, you can. We can help you. We are Conspirowin. You may be thinking, but my idea of the center of the earth being made of ice is far-fetched. In a world where people believe windmills cause cancer, we say no dream is too big. Listen to the voices no one else can hear. Team up with Conspirowin. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching the show. A special shout out to my gold level Patreon supporters, Cindy Plaza and Ian Davenport. Thank you and have a great day.